Okay, let's get right into it. In just the last 48 hours, the conflict between Iran and Israel has taken a turn that has put the entire world on edge. We are right on the brink of something we've never seen before. So let's break down exactly what is happening right now.
What we're witnessing is a situation that is threatening to just spiral completely out of control. A couple of major things have happened that show not only is this war escalating, but the global consequences are becoming terrifyingly clear.
For the first time ever in this conflict, the word nuclear is officially part of the conversation. I mean, just a little while ago, this was the kind of stuff you'd only see in doomsday movies, right? But now, the unthinkable is suddenly actually on the table.
And that one word, nuclear, it just fundamentally changes everything about this conflict. It makes every move, every threat, that much more dangerous. So what exactly happened to get us to this point?
You know, what's really scary here is just how fast this has changed. By bringing nuclear weapons into the discussion, we've crossed a line. It's like the unspoken rules that have kept this whole thing from boiling over for decades. They've just been shattered, and that's a terrifying thought for everyone.
So the event that really set all of this off was a very specific and highly symbolic attack by Iran. It was aimed right at the heart of Israel's sense of security.
Get this. In a retaliatory strike, Iran didn't actually hit Israel's nuclear research center. No, they did something much smarter and, frankly, scarier. They attacked the nearby city of Dimona, where the facility's workers and their families live. The message couldn't be clearer. If you mess with our nuclear sites, we can get to yours.
And this single attack exposed two huge failures in Israel's defense playbook. First, it proved that Iran's missiles could actually get past their famous multi-layered air defense system, including the Iron Dome. And second, it showed a new level of missile dominance. Iran can now hit pretty much anywhere inside Israel, even its most heavily guarded places. So, with that successful and really symbolic attack, Israel is now in an incredibly difficult position, and it's forcing them to look at their most drastic, most controversial military plan.
I mean, what do you do now? Your legendary air defenses have been proven to be vulnerable, and your ability to scare off your enemies is now in serious doubt. This is the agonizing question facing Israel's leaders right at this moment.
And that question brings us to the Samson Option. Now, this is Israel's absolute last resort plan. It basically says that if the very existence of the state is in danger, they can use massive nuclear retaliation. The fact that we're even talking about this shows you just how high the stakes have gotten.
Israel is really caught between a rock and a hard place here. I mean, if they retaliate, especially with something like a tactical nuke, they risk becoming a total pariah state, completely cut off from the rest of the world. But if they do nothing, they look weak, and that might just encourage their enemies to strike again. It's an impossible choice.
And just when you thought this couldn't get any more complicated, an absolute wild card just got thrown into the mix, threatening to make this conflict so much bigger.
Yeah, you heard that right. Donald Trump issued this incredibly blunt ultimatum. This isn't a diplomatic suggestion. It's a threat of massive cyber and military warfare against Iran's civilian infrastructure. We're talking about plunging an entire country into total darkness.
So did Iran just ignore this? Oh no. Within hours, they shot back, and they escalated things dramatically. They laid out a very specific, wide-ranging, and frankly terrifying plan for what they would do in return.
Iran's counter-threat is a total game-changer. They threatened to attack the energy infrastructure of U.S. allies in the Gulf, then the data centers of global tech giants like Amazon and Microsoft, and maybe the scariest of all, the water desalination plants that provide 90% of the drinking water for several countries in the Middle East. This is a threat to cripple not just a region, but the global economy.
Now, amidst all this chaos, Iran has also laid out what it would take for them to de-escalate. But here's the thing. These aren't proposals for a peace talk. They're basically terms of surrender.
From Iran's perspective, they're in a position of strength, so they're not asking for negotiations. They are dictating their terms to end this. It's a take-it-or-leave-it kind of deal, and the stakes could not be higher. And here are those terms. First, an ironclad guarantee against any future attacks. Second, they want full payment for all the damages. And third, and this is the big one, a complete and total withdrawal of the U.S. military from the entire Middle East.
You see, that last demand is why this whole situation feels so impossible. For the United States, a full withdrawal would mean the end of its influence in the region. It could also spell the end of the petrodollar system, the thing that has basically propped up the American economy for decades by making sure oil is traded in US dollars. So for Washington, this is a total non-starter.
And that just leaves us with the final, chilling question. You have two sides, both absolutely convinced of their own strength, both unwilling to back down an inch, and both escalating their threats to a truly global